WIBTA if I go on vacation instead of my brother's wedding. My brother Tom, 36M, and I, 26F, have never had a really solid relationship. Due to our age gap, we didn't spend much time, and by the time I was old enough to develop a personality, he was moved out of the house. For the last 2 years, my brother and his fiancée Sarah, 32F, have been planning their wedding. And it's coming up in September. I was asked to be a bridesmaid. I figured I was only asked as a courtesy since I'm her soon-to-be sister-in-law. Booty still took it seriously. I have been a bridesmaid for the last 2 years. Just a few weeks ago, I managed to save up to buy the $800 bridesmaid dress. Overall, in the last 2 years, between group outings to parties, dinners, lunches, clothes, etc., I spent thousands of dollars. Eventually, all the girls in the wedding and I became extremely close, and I started to get hyped for the wedding. Sarah recently got close with her brother's wife Becky, 30F. Last week she dropped the ball on me that she no longer wants me to be a bridesmaid and she would prefer if Becky would take my place. It broke my heart a little, but it's her wedding and it's not my place to tell her how to run it, so I said it was fine. Yesterday I went to my brother's house to pick up the bridesmaid's dress, and was going to see if I could return it since it was within the time frame. Sarah was completely appalled and said that Becky was going to wear it since she and I are the same size. I said that would be fine, but they would have to pay me the $800 for it. Sarah said that Becky couldn't afford and I should just be nice and let her use it, and said that I could keep it after the wedding. I explained that I'm not just giving away the dress, and I'm not ever going to USEI after the wedding. After some bickering back and forth, I just ended up taking it and leaving. My brother and Sarah tried to compromise with me and say I could be the assistant flower girl. Andy felt offended at the offer. After I said no, they then said that Becky could give me $250 for it. Again, no, and I returned the dress and got a full refund. I told them I understand that it's their wedding, but they are being extremely disrespectful to me, and I don't need to deal with it, and I'm not going to the wedding. Today my coworker says she has an extra round-trip plane ticket to go to Miami that she'll sell to me for half price, plus I would have to pay for half the hotel and I can go hang out with her in Florida. The only downside is that I'll be in Florida for the week of my brother's wedding, so will I be the asshole if I just go party in Miami instead of going to my brother's wedding? AmItheAsshole for not wanting to play a game my girlfriend created? My 27 GF 24 has been working on a visual novel game as a side project for almost 2 years and recently finished it. She wanted me to play it. Booty initially declined since I'm not into visual novels or reading long stories, but after she begged, I gave it a try and played for a good 15 minutes. Now I can tell she put in a lot of effort in the writing and the art, and it was a good start, but I just got tired of reading and stopped. She asked what I thought and wanted me to eventually finish it and tell her what I thought about the choice and the endings, but I told her I had no plans to. She looked shocked and asked if it was boring. I told her no. It's just that I'm just not into this type of genre, and she knows I am not into reading. Boot asked me to make an exception this time since she made it. I got upset because I think she is being childish and wants to blackmail me into doing something I don't want. After I made it clear I wasn't continuing, she hasn't talked to me. I already know that she is talented and smart, so just because I don't want to play it doesn't mean I don't support her. Some of my friends agree she's being immature, but others think I should be more supportive. So AmItheAsshole for not letting my sil add my kids to the chore list. My sil lives in a fairly large 6BD farmhouse on 10 acres. We are building a home across the street on D. In the meantime, we have a camper parked on sil's property. The only time we go into her house is to use the bathroom or shower. We have electricity in the camper but no running water. The rest of the time we are across the street building, and our kids, 14 meters, 12F, 8 meters, are with us helping. We pay sil $180 a week to park our camper there, which is campground prices. Late afternoon yesterday, my sil asked us to all come inside to talk, and she pulls up her chore list, with my kids' names added to it. Things like laundry, dishes, cleaning the living room, sweeping, mopping, cleaning table plus countertops, garbage, returnables, even helping cook meals. We do not eat with them, etc. She said, "Does this work for you? I won't let anyone clean the bathroom because I'm the only one who does it properly." I immediately said no. My kids don't even go in her house unless they are showering or hitting, so if anything, I'd make them clean the bathroom, not the rest of the house that they don't use. I'm not going to be making them do chores to that extent for simply using the bathroom after they've been helping us all day with building our home. My sil, who works all the time, says, "The kids are in here much more than that because all my snacks are gone and I always come home to a trashed house, and I didn't before you guys started staying here. She's clearly not putting two and two together with the fact that her own daughter, 12, has had consistent friends over for the past 2 weeks since school let out, and her husband, 46M, does nothing to parent, which I brought to her attention. My kids don't eat food at all either. I've made a point to preach to my kids about minimizing our footprint here for this specific reason, her trying to blame my kids for her trashed house. My husband is saying that maybe I should just allow her to add the kids to 1 or 2 chores a week to keep his sister at bay, but I've refused. We pay Toby here and we do not go indoors at all unless ID's for the bathroom, as I've stated. My kids are not going to be scrubbing her house top to bottom forcing a restroom, and I have since told my husband we need to create an outhouse system on our property, so we don't have to go in there at all. He says I'm making things more difficult when in reality, I'm protecting my kids from being used. IATA for building my teenage sons a bedroom in the backyard? My wife and I have 5 children together, 9M, 8M, 7M, 4M, 2M, and I have 3 children with my ex-wife, 17M, 15M, 13F. When I bought our current house, it had 4 bedrooms. I later renovated the basement to add another 2 bedrooms. My wife and I have 1 room, the 3 teenagers had a room each, and the younger boys share the other 2 rooms, with various configurations over the years. As the younger boys get older, things are going to get more cramped for them, and we haven't ruled out having more kids. I also don't want to immediately take my older kids' rooms away the second they go to college, and maybe they'll stay local or no go at all. Because of this, I started looking at how I would add more bedrooms. The property our house is on is a little under 1 acre. Last year I decided I would build a den in the backyard that could become the older boys' bedrooms. The build was finished a few weeks ago and the boys have moved in. They have a small shared living space that includes a kitchenette, a shared bathroom, and they each have their own rooms. It's essentially a tiny house in our yard. They boys love it, and we had a lot of fun working on the build together. My ex-wife, however, is less than pleased with the boys' new living arrangements. She has multiple safety concerns as she thinks they are too far away if something happens, and that they will feel like they could get away with whatever as I can't monitor them well. She also thinks it's unfair they will have to walk through a yard to get to and from their bedrooms to the house even in adverse weather conditions. She feels as though I'm pushing the boys away by housing them in the backyard, and that it suggests I'm prioritizing my new family, while at the same time thinking giving them a cool den in the backyard is favoring them over their sister. I think her biggest issue is the one she didn't mention, which is worrying the boys will want to spend even more time at my house if they have more privacy and great place to hang with their friends. We no longer split custody based on our custody agreement, and for the last few years the boys have lived the majority of the time with me, where a sour daughter alternates between our houses every 2 weeks. My ex is trying to make it out like I'm a massive asshole in this situation, but I really don't feel like I am. However, in the past I haven't always known when I have been an asshole, so maybe I'm missing something. IATA for asking my wife to stop playing Taylor Swift on vacation? Some context. Since January, my wife, 25F, has played almost nothing but Taylor Swift, daily, on repeat. Averaging about an hour her music a day. She's a huge fan. Shed many tears when we decided she couldn't pay $1,000 to see the concert. I am not a Swiftie. Not really even a fan at all. I think Taylor needs new subject material. Good songwriter but repetitive and boring to me. Whether we're in the car, having a game night with neighbors, sitting by the pool, playing cards, or cooking, my wife is playing and singing Swift via a Bluetooth speaker. It started off cute, then got annoying, then made me feel like I'm hanging out with a 14-year-old from 2011. I am permanently banned from saying anything negative about Swift. Saying I don't like her is taking away from her achievement as the first female artist to have such a successful tour. We are currently in a hotel with 4 family members, about to go on vacation. 9 a.m. and my wife starts playing to brush her teeth. Nobody else wasp particularly bothered because they don't have any context, but I think they were clearly wondering why she was playing it so loud. I asked if we could take a vacation from Swift this week as well. My wife threw a bit of a fit saying I embarrassed her or implied that she immature. Her parents are telling me I'm being rude. Asked my wife to step outside to chat, told her I wasn't trying to hurt her feelings. It didn't go well and now I've ruined the vacation. I understand making her feel awkward and her family not being bothered, but am I an asshole for being tired of her singing the 10-minute version of All Too Well? IATA for buying my husband fries? IATA for buying my husband his own fries. I, 28M, and my husband, 28M, went to a local burger place this weekend for lunch after running errands. He didn't want any fries, just a cheeseburger and a milkshake. I got a combo meal with fries and a soda. I ask him if he's sure and he says yes. We order, I pay, we sit down. Once we're called up for our food and I come back with it, he almost instantly grabs one of my fries. I told him to knock it off and he kept taking fries and telling me he was only taking a few. I get fed up, went U-Pan, paid for a small fry for him and sat back down. This was all done pretty abruptly and in silence. He muttered, "Jesus," and asked me why I couldn't they've just shared. I told him because I wanted the amount of fries in a large fry and he insisted it was fine because he was only taking a couple, but I knew from past experience, about 50% of the time, he'd clear half my plate. I didn't talk to him the entire car ride home and now he's even angrier at me for giving him the cold shoulder. WIBTA for not sharing my fries?